what if some master student right now who is doing the thesis, like, to PhD or not? Like, what are some of the factors that they should consider?
Okay. So there are many factors, and as a default, I don't recommend it.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it. I think it's my path, but I don't recommend that because, I mean, let's start with the bad things.
Okay.
First. So yeah, it's a temporary contract. So at the end, you don't know what to do, and you after 4 years you're done, and you need to start over if you go to industry, for example. And the pay is very low compared to other opportunities, and you work much more than in a normal company.
Okay.
So yeah, in a company you work 40 hours a week. In a PhD, no, that's never true. That's never true. You work 50, 60 years per week. Okay. Hours per week. So yeah, it's much more heavy. So if you don't like that, if you don't like the research, or if you like just a little, no way. I highly discourage that. If you want a PhD just for a title, no, I highly discourage that. The only reason to start a PhD is that you love what you do there. Okay. Love the research that you do, and you love to have freedom to research. Because the cool thing about academics is the academy is that you can choose what to research, what to work on. Especially if you are a professor, you can start the other day and study different type of literature and go to search a new type of particle. And you can change path very easily whenever you want, and you experience a little bit of that also during your PhD. I mean, there is a crazy amount of freedom. A lot depends also on the supervisor that you have. But in general, you have much more freedom than in a normal job. And for example, I can choose what to research on, but also when to and how to organize my time. I have colleagues that come at 10 a.m. and go away at 7. Others that come at 7 a.m. and go away at 4. And others that work on the weekend, others that work during the night. You can work one day in one mood and the other day in another mood. So yeah, there is a lot of freedom. There is a lot of freedom on how you dress. I don't have a suit or a shirt. You can dress how you can see whatever you can imagine in the PhD. So yeah, there's really a lot of freedom, and if you like that, it's a very good opportunity. And the price that you pay is that you need to work much more, and you are less paid, much more uncertainty, and if you go to industry, then you need to start over, and also at some point during the PhD, you will experience a lot of stress. A lot of stress. So a PhD is like a mountain hike with a lot of peaks and dips. And the dips are low. Okay. And I was warned about that. There are crazy numbers, like 30% of PhD students experience psychological problems, like depression, or which is a crazy number. I mean, it's much more than in other environments, and that's because you have a lot of pressure from your peers, because you need to publish or you perish, and from yourself, because people that end up doing a PhD is typically very motivated people that was successful during the studies, so you want to keep the success going, and if the success is not coming, then the problem starts. And it's very, very hard to achieve success in a PhD. I mean, if you were in the best 10% of students during your master's or bachelor's, then maybe you end up doing a PhD and you're no longer in the best 10%.
Yeah.
You might be in the lowest 30. And what was somehow easier before, then it becomes quite harder, and you experience failures. And I just came from one of them in July, so I had some problems with the supervision and with the topics that I was working on. My experiments didn't yield the results that we were hoping for, so it was a big hit for me. And usually the first PhD dip starts at the end of the second year of PhD, but for me it started after 9 months. And so I'm 1 year advantage. And it was quite low. It was quite low, and by low I mean with tears and really. It was a tough moment, and now I'm already recovering from that and going on. So I will not hide that the dips are there, and I experienced one already, and more will come, and the less success you have, the more will come, and so it's a pretty tough path. But that at the end, if you can make it till the end, it makes you stronger. And also HR people, maybe for a future job, know that.
Yeah. So about that, like, what are the future opportunities? Like once you graduate, you have a PhD in your hand, and then what next?
Yeah. So if you want to stay in academia, the PhD, I mean, is the way to go. There are no other options. So for that, it's necessary. If you want to go outside, then I recommend not to do a PhD. I really recommend to do a PhD only if you are really considering to stay in academia.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it's not possible to stop at some point and to go out and that it becomes useless as soon as you go out. But the 4 years in very specified research that you do, if you then go to industry, very unlikely you will use the knowledge that you built during your PhD in industry. You will be very, very likely overqualified for many ordinary jobs. Very, very likely. And that poses some problems, because either you close to yourself a lot of opportunities of less qualified jobs that simply you don't want to accept because they are not related to what you have done, or people don't want to hire you because they would need to pay you a little bit more because you're overqualified. So there is both problems. You are closing opportunities to yourself because you don't want to do something different. And they close the opportunity to you because they don't want to pay you. You're overqualified, and you're also older. You start a PhD, you finish a PhD around 30, which is already old. There are a lot of disadvantages. That is not completely useless, because if you finish a PhD, they know that you went through dips, and they know that you could deal with that and finish it anyway. So they know that you can deal with a lot of stress, and you know how to manage it. They know that you are smart. So I mean, finishing a PhD tells something good about
Okay.
about you. So you can sell it somewhere else. So you can find jobs in industry. That's not a problem. Maybe you need to search a little bit. And some of the PhDs that finished their path in my group had some trouble finding jobs. So yeah, a PhD doesn't make the job search easier.
Okay.
Definitely. So if you want to do a PhD to have more chance to get jobs, yeah, that's not the way. That's not the way. Yeah, but you can get good jobs after a PhD as well. I mean, that's definitely true. And doing whatever you want, because you went through a lot of different problems, so you became good at problem solving anyway.
Okay. So yeah, so thanks for agreeing to talk. It was nice. Yeah.
Welcome.
Getting
Welcome.
this inside view of the world of PhD, and also since you've been at TU Delft with your master thesis and the PhD now. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.